Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be opening 046. So the 46th opening that I'd like to share with you is the Rose-Tamenori-Kling opening. So the sequence is basically an extension of the Rose-Tamenori opening, so we're just going to be playing that sequence out fairly quickly since the first two videos have already addressed most of this sequence. So up to this play out is basically the last move being a b4, and you see that white basically has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 somewhat playable options, and for the Kling continuation for Rose-Tamenori opening, I will share with you is basically the c3 move over here. It's almost like a penetration move while remaining compact. So the good thing is that this is fairly uncommon in terms of the counter. I think the most common one being b3 has been covered, and of course the consequent playout. Another common one is actually f3. So of course c3 is probably the third common one. I mean the probably relatively uncommon compared to a3, and then of course c3. The playout would then be d2 for black, which is counterintuitive in a sense that usually for black you don't really want to do that. Perhaps you would want to cross back. But assuming that black knows this and actually plays that defensive cross back to the diagonal chip to the side, to the edge, you actually continue on with a further penetration move to c2, which is a typical sequence for one of the variations that is perhaps easy to play for white. And when black crosses back, which this is probably intuitive for black, you can then further penetrate to d1. So it's almost like a triple penetration for the Rose-Tamenori-Kling opening, and I would actually recommend this as something of an easy variation against the Rose-Tamenori opening, and I would recommend it for intermediate players and above. Of course, the advantage that you get is you don't get the perfect line +2 perhaps, and this is probably more of a draw line, but I think the follow-up beyond this point might be a little counterintuitive for both black and white. For this case, black would have to make a diagonal cut that almost seems like giving away this nice move for white to centralize back, but this isn't the best move because white still has that momentary control on this mini diagonal. So given that it's two discs, there is no rush per se to actually defend that line because black hasn't really initiated any sort of excess pickup. So instead, when you play this particular move to g4, so this is the trap that is mentioned over here. The trap for black is that usually there is a possible chance that black plays it a little too fast and goes to c7 and flips this 3 diagonal as well. That's probably more for a blitz kind of situation, and even for a non-blitz kind of situation, I think it's more possible that black actually goes for the h4 move instead of the best move recommended here being f7 perhaps. So h4 again is probably not too good looking for black as well because black has to form a very long dispersive shape and create many pockets of spaces to the top right for white to actually do further penetration. So I think this particular variation to counter Rose-Tamenori-Kling is exceptionally useful perhaps. So hopefully that helps your game, and I'll close off this opening video.